Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. This is a game of chess between obviously Russia and the West. The main player in the West, obviously, it's the United States of America. And you know probably that the European Union agreed yesterday to place a cap on Russian oil at $60 a barrel. So if the Russian oil sells for $70 a barrel, they will not give the providers, the suppliers, more than 60. So that's the problem with this. What's going to happen now? So this is one move, right, made by the Americans and the European weasels, right, followers, vassal states. Why did it happen? Because United States ensured that Venezuela opens up its supposedly its oil to the Americans to control it and decide who gets what and at what price. So this is what's going on in Venezuela with United States. In Europe, these weasels are placing a price cap. What do the Russians do? Well, this is what they do because they have to think ahead. They are amassing, they're putting together a shadow fleet of tankers that will deliver its oil probably without any, monitoring systems on, because as a ship, when you operate, you have to have a tracking system on for obvious reasons, right? Control and safety and blah blah blah. Well, these ships turn this off and you don't know where they're at. So this is what the Russians are doing, are making sure that they have this fleet ready to deliver its oil. Now let's see what details we got. The details come from Business Insider from December 3rd, 2022. Russia assembles a quote-unquote shadow fleet of more than 100 oil tankers as Putin tries to bust Western sanctions, reports say. Russia has a shadow fleet of oil tankers to bypass Western sanctions, the Financial Times reported. Shipping brokers and analysts estimate that Moscow added 100 plus ships to the fleet per the FT. The EU has agreed on a $60 a barrel price. Poland wanted it set at just 30, because Zelensky said as well 30. Russia has assembled a shadow fleet of more than 100 tankers, oil tankers, in a bid to bust Western sanctions imposed following blah blah blah. Shipping brokers and analysts told the newspaper they estimated Moscow has quietly amassed more tankers this year. And I'm quoting, we've seen quite a number of sales to unnamed buyers in more recent months. In a few weeks, the sale, many of these tankers, and a few weeks after the sale, many of these tankers pop up in Russia to take their first load of crude, end quote. A Russian oil expert at Harvard's Davis Center who has been tracking the ships told the FT. Right? Right. So, he says, this name, we got another one. This guy's name is Craig Kennedy. Now, Rystad, an energy consultancy company, said Russia amassed another 103 tankers to add to its fleet this year through purchases and the relocation of ships servicing Iran and Venezuela. Russia assembled what the industry described as the shadow fleet in a bid to counter new sanctions. The EU imposed a ban on Russia's seaborne imports, which takes effect on Monday, and reached a deal to cap Russian crude at $60 a barrel after Poland tried to have it set at just $30. The cap aims to let India and China buy the oil but stop Moscow from making big profits on it. So what's going on here? You got a set of countries that engage in market maneuvering, and which is, you know, trying to control how much free market, you know. We live in how do you call this, capitalist market. Whenever it works in your benefit, when it doesn't work, you set new rules. In this case, you want to cripple another country's production, sale of some kind of product, because it's a disadvantage to your disadvantageous to your little interest. Well, they can do this, and then they tell you about the rule-based or law-based world order. Yeah, okay, thank you. So, however, the Kremlin has said it would not sell oil to countries enforcing the cap. That will make the price potentially strengthening its relationship with countries more sympathetic to Putin, including India, China, and Turkey, the second club forming. Anup Singh, head of the tanker research at Braemar, told the Financial Times that the new tankers, bought anonymously, are generally 12 to 15 years old and would be expected to be scrapped in the next few years. These are buyers that we, as long-standing brokers, are not familiar with. We are confident that the majority of these vessels are destined for Russia, he said. What I mean 12, 15 years old? That's not an old ship. But anyway, they know best, right? Analysts estimate a shortfall as Russia still needs more tankers to maintain its export levels, according to the report. Singh said Bremer expects exports to fall by between 700,000 and 1.5 million barrels a day, while Rystad estimated 200,000 barrels. Either way, that means the price is going to jump because the demand is going to be the same or more, and the supplies diminishes. That's why it's going to be the competition on the scarce resources. The value jumps, right? Yes. And if not, let me know. Rystad analyst Viktor Kurilov told a newspaper, and I'm quoting, Russia needs more than 240 tankers to keep its current exports flowing. So it has 103 or something, and it needs more than 240. A Kremlin spokesperson didn't immediately report to a request for a comment by Insider. Well, why would they? Who are you? You're not their friends, so, and they will give you whatever they want to give you anyway, true or not true. So yeah, they're gonna plan on this one. You know, the Western countries, they impose their kind of sanctions on who can carry, or carry the Russian oil, who can administrate. They want to turn Russia into a vassal state, like they try to turn right now Venezuela, which is, Venezuela, if you do what we tell you to do, we're going to allow you to sell your stuff to the world. Until then, you have an embargo imposed on you by us, unilateral embargo that other country must follow, because if not, we're going to impose on them. But then they say everybody else is how do you call it, put to the corner, they're just set aside, and we are the ones who dictate who's who and what's what. Well, that's good, that's your choice, but you isolate yourself. You don't isolate the world, you isolate yourself from the world, and then you wonder why certain countries remember this kind of acts and say, you know what, we really don't like you, and then you see flag burning things in different states. Why? Because you do like this with their economy, with their resources. You don't allow them to go on the market and sell it, and then you wonder, hey, they hate our way of life. That's what they said after September 11. Why do they hate us? Why do they do this? They hate our freedoms. Really? How about that? Do you think the Venezuelans are going to celebrate, or the Russians will celebrate that you try to strangle them? And you say, well, they're the bad dudes. Oh, like you're the good one. Yes, we are. My bad. All right. Thank you very much for being with me again today. So they're playing chess. We'll see who's going to win, right? Or at least they're going to be a continuous chess game that nobody's going to win. And it's going to be a continuous until one day. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.